In the previous videos, we talked about the water reticulation systems, which engineers need to design and, as the outcome, produce the water reticulation plans for the construction purposes. We briefly talk about the layout of the water reticulation systems as well as their components, such as the fire hydrant, sluice valve, air valve, and water mains. There are requirements that you need to follow depending on the water supply agencies that the development project is subjected with. Different places will have different water supply agencies. They are different entities. The requirement may vary slightly. Therefore, when come to the submissions of the water reticulation plans, make sure you follow the guideline by the respective water supply agencies. It is important for you to acquire their guidelines in order to meet their requirements. This is one of the examples of the guideline as acquired from the water supply agency at my area. You may refer to your water supply agencies for the guideline. As far as this knowledge sharing is concerned, I shall share the information that are available to me to the extent of my personal understandings. Without further ado, let us get started. This is the guideline for the submissions of the water supply and internal plumbing system for development schemes. Water supply is referring to the water reticulation systems. This is the scope of engineers. As for the internal plumbing systems, they are under the architect. Therefore, our discussions shall focus on the water supply system. The guideline here describe the policies and the procedures for the submissions of the water supply applications and subsequent handing over of the complete water supply systems to the water supply agencies. It is stated that the requirement may revise from time to time as needs arise. Therefore, it is important for you to keep updated with the latest requirements. Now, before we start, let us look at some terminologies so that you have a better understanding about the terms that we are using, discussing about the guidelines. First is the communications pipes. It means that the service pipe sections connecting the water mains to the water meters. We call the pipes that we are designing as the water mains instead of calling it as a pipe. The reason being here is the size is relatively large. That means the piping system that we are designing for the water reticulation system here are known as the water mains. Now, what about the water meter? This is an example of the water meter. You see this in front of a property. Let's say you are talking about a residential unit. Normally, there will be a water main crossing in front of the residential unit. And before the water enters the properties, there will be a water meter to quantify the water volumes entering the units, so that the water supply agency may charge according to the consumptions of water used. The water mains looks something like this. Now, when we talk about the connection pipe, based on the definition here, the part connecting the water mains and the water meters is known as the connection pipe. Taking this as an example, this is the water mains, and there is a pipe connecting the water mains to the water meter before entering the building. Now this stretch here is known as the connection pipe. Next, internal plumbing systems. It means the water supply system from the water meters to the premise, including the service pipe, storage tank, fittings, plumbing system, suction tank, and etc. Based on the definitions, starting from the water meters onward, entering the premise is known as the internal plumbing system. As far as the engineers is concerned, we are designing the water supply mains, ensuring the structural stability of the water mains, as well as adequate pressures in the water mains. As far as the developer is concerned, they will have to take the water from the water mains, connecting to the water meters, and then entering the premise. Starting from the water meters entering the premise, that will be the architect's scope. Next, we talk about the mains layer. This is the licensed personnel to construct, lay or repair, and deals with the constructions of the water mains. As for the pipe fitters, it means licensed personnel dealing with the internal plumbing systems. The water supply system here, it means the water supply system from the point of connections to the existing water mains, determined by the water supply agency to the developed areas. This includes the internal reticulation mains, sub-mains, booster pumping system, reservoir, and other water supply related appurtenances in accordance to the requirements by the water supply agencies. In another word, the water supply system here is referring to the entire system connecting to the existing main that is supplied to the developed areas. Taking this project as an example, this is the existing water supply system. We have existing mains here, and then this is the new development. Now the networks of the water mains here are considered as the water supply system. Whichever components comes together with the system shall be considered as a part of the water supply system. This includes the fire hydrant, sluice valve, water mains, air valve, and etc. Next, we talk about the definitions of the numbers of units of premises. This is very important, especially when it comes to the requirements on the basis of the numbers of premises. Now, if it is a residential development, each sublot will constitute one premise. The total numbers of premises, it will be the numbers of subdivided lot. Taking this development as an example, if this development is for the residential, now the numbers of premise, it will be quantified by numbers of sublot. Let's say the total number of sublot is 50. 50 is the numbers of the premise. However, if you are talking about the commercial development, for example, shop houses, now each floor of a sublot is considered as one unit. On this basis, the numbers of unit of the premises is governed by the number of stories of the shop houses, as well as the numbers of the subdivided lot. Taking back as an example here. Now, if this development deals with the shop houses, let's say we have a total or 50 units of subdivided lot. Each shophouse have 3 stories. Now the total numbers of premises, it would be 50 times 3. That gives you 150 units of premises. Next, let us briefly look into the policies. The developer should have its own costs and resources, install the whole water supply system, including whatever that is necessary. And the water supply system should be tied into the existing water mains as directed by the water supply agency at the cost of the developer. In another word, it is the responsibility of the developer to construct the water supply system and ensure it to be functional. Whatever that is necessary should be provided. Everything on his own cost. Now, the water supply systems will have to be tied into an existing water mains so that the water supply can reach to the developed areas. This will need to have the input from the water supply agencies, getting the agreement and approval by the water supply agencies. The water supply system will need to be designed in accordance to the requirements by the agencies. Once it is completed, and after having tested to be satisfactions, the developer will have to hand over the entire system to the water supply agency free of charge before the individual units are to be provided with water. The water supply agency carries no liability over the water supply system, excepting the handing over by the developer. There will be a defect liability period of 12 months, calculating from the dates of the water supply system being put into services. Now, the submission should be done only by the professionals engineering consultant registered with the state water authorities. Only consultants, mains layers, pipe fitters who have undergone the induction course or briefing as required by the water supply agencies are allowed to submit, supervise and carry out the work for the water supply agencies. This is to ensure the personnel has relevant competency in carrying out the works.